Chapter 18, Expert Secret, about timing. When will you start earning money? Just start now and figure out how to solve the problems as you go. You will be paid for your learning time. If you are just beginning with your Python career, you will earn less, but you will still earn something, get a lot of experience and gain practical insight into what to learn and where your knowledge gaps are. If you don't feel confident yet, you can master the Python basics first. You can already specialize in a Python topic. And to gain even more confidence, you can learn with toy projects. A little known Python freelancing tip is to learn with archived freelancing projects. You can already gain practical experience and learn the type of projects for which clients have paid freelancers. Still, it's even better just to start doing real Python projects and then putting in all the effort to earn your 5-star ratings. Action steps. Read one book teaching the Python basics. Get yourself a freelance gig and don't overthink it, just go. Chapter 19, Expert Secret, Practical Training Plan. My recommendation is that you use a personalized training plan which focuses on the practical skills you need. You'll divide your time into 2 blocks. One block takes 70% of your learning time. You use this time to work on practical Python projects which can be achieved, archived freelancing projects that challenge you to go to higher levels. You could even spend this learning time on your dream projects. This is even better because it keeps you highly motivated and engaged. The key is not to stop working on these until you have successfully finished them and have created a viable product. The rest of the time, 30%, you will invest in solving Python puzzles. See next expert secret, work through Python courses, read Python books. You can see that this is a highly practical approach. The reason is that only practical motivation can push you to mastery in any subject. You need to understand your knowledge gap and see what you don't know before stuffing things in your brain. Ask any expert on Quora. They will tell you that practice first is how to learn Python fast. There's no shortcut. Action steps. If you haven't already, watch the free Finxter Freelancer webinar. You can check it out at python-freelancer.com, the website for the book, and of author's note. Create a training plan to track your learning time. Adhere to the 70-30 time division. Chapter 20, Expert Secret, Solve Python puzzles. For the theoretical part, I recommend solving Python puzzles as your main method of improvement. Python puzzles are a powerful tool for becoming more proficient in reading and understanding Python source code. You may ask, what is a Python puzzle? A Python puzzle is an educational snippet of Python source code that teaches a single computer science concept by activating the learner's curiosity and involving them in the learning process. The Python puzzles range from easy to complex. Each puzzle will push your theoretical and practical coding skills one step further. The puzzle-based learning method is very effective, proven by tens of thousands of online students. Action steps. Solve 10 more puzzles on the Finxter.com app. So just visit Finxter.com and solve 10 Python code puzzles and try not to get too addicted. So just solve 10 puzzles and then start with your practical project. End of author's note. Chapter 21, Expert Secret, Learn with Cheats. Before you start with practical projects, you should invest 10 to 20 hours in refreshing your basic Python skills. This is not much of a time commitment. After all, you are learning a high-income skill. You can learn a lot in 20 hours if you do it right. The key is to learn probabilistically by mastering important sub-skills first. So what's the best way to learn probabilistically? Simple. Use the 80-20 principle. This famous principle states that 80% of causes lead to 20% of effects. Get rid of the 80% low-value tasks and focus instead on the 20% of the causes that produce 80% of the effects. The best way to learn 80% of the skills in 20% of the time is via Python cheat sheets. I have summarized the best Python cheat sheets at my email academy, so you can check it out, blog.finxter.com/subscribe, or just type in blog.finxter.com/python-cheat-sheets. Download the cheat sheets and spend your first 20 hours learning them thoroughly. Or even better, print them and post them to your office wall. Action steps. Download the 11 Python cheat sheets. Consult them daily until you know them by heart. Expert Secret 22. Confidence. How can you gain confidence that will increase your value to the marketplace? Before becoming a Python freelancer, you have to learn the very basics of Python. What's the point of offering your freelancer services when you can't even write Python code? Having said this, it's more likely that you live on the other extreme. You do not want to offer your services before you don't feel 100% confident about your skills. Unfortunately, this moment never arrives. I've met hundreds of advanced coders who are still not confident in selling their services. They cannot overcome their self-woven system of limiting beliefs and mental barriers. Can I tell you a harsh truth? You're unlikely to join the top 1% of the Python coders. This is a hard statistical fact, but never mind. Your services will still be valuable to clients who either have less programming skills, there are plenty of them, or little time, a big part of the rest. Most clients are happy to outsource the complex coding work to focus on their key result areas. Regardless of your skill level, the variety of Python projects is huge. There are simple projects for $10 that an experienced coder can solve in 5 minutes. And there are complex projects that take months and promise you large payments of $100 to $1,000 after completing each milestone. You can be reassured that you will find projects within your skill level. Action steps. Take your time to browse all the archived Python freelance projects. You just Google archived freelance project. I will also add a link to the python-freelancer.com web page. I just have to remind myself. Let me note this down. Okay. Select 3 projects that you think you can solve in the price range between $10 and $50. Write down in which direction you want to go first, keeping the projects in mind that you just selected. Data science, web scraping, application development, scripting. Chapter 23, Expert Secret. Learn while you earn. Start with real projects immediately. Use an archive to find practical projects if you do not feel confident. But don't wait too long. Even if you are a beginner programmer, set aside 10 minutes per day or so to watch out for interesting projects. When you have solved archived projects, clients will likely have similar projects that they want to outsource. To drive traffic to your own freelancer website, you could write a blog post about the topic. You could even drive traffic via Facebook ads if you need to. Try to establish your brand as soon as possible. Learn with real clients. Learn practical skills first. What are the practical skills? You can only learn them by working on real projects. Interestingly, communication skills are highly practical skills. You'll need them for each project, and they are at least as important as Python skills. Begin author's note. These communication skills are very undervalued. I have seen many successful freelancer students from the Finxter Freelancer course that actually are Python beginners to intermediate. So they are not bad, but they are also not experts. But they have great communication skills, marketing skills, and business skills, and they earn premium hourly rates of $100 and beyond. So it's a lot about communication skills. It's much less about the technical skills than you'd probably expect. End of author's note. So how much time do you spend optimizing your communication skills? Action steps. Take the first project you think you can solve. Invest all your time and effort into cracking this project. Make sure to track the time you need and calculate the hourly wage. Your hourly wage. Learn on the way. It's a sure way to improve and build a relationship with your clients and make money in the process. Begin author's note. You may ask, how can I track my hourly rate? So I do it very simply. I track all the hours I spent in a given month. I see what I earn in a given month, and then I just divide my earnings by the total number of hours spent to calculate my real hourly rate. This is not the hourly rate I charge clients, because if I do freelancing work, I have to charge a much higher hourly rate than is my average, basically, because I still have to do client acquisition, I have to run the business, and so on. End of author's note. Chapter 24, Expert Secret. Practical Python learning projects. Most developers know that they should never do premature code optimization, but they do premature skill optimization all the time. Don't do that. Instead, you should laser focus your time to learn the essential skills with the highest priority. Search the web for archived freelancing projects. These are gold mines. Many freelancing websites provide old freelancing projects. Invest time to study them carefully. If you do so, you will learn the practical Python problems that clients will need solved. You will learn about the patterns of Python problems in the wild. This knowledge will guide you in your efforts to become more valuable to the marketplace. In contrast to the millions of other aspiring coders, you will develop a practical Python skill set tailored to your interest level. Action steps. Browse the archive of freelancing Python projects. Find projects you like within your difficulty level. Complete these projects. Expert Secret, Chapter 25, Psychology Tricks. My company Finxter relies on many freelancers to improve the overall student experience. Naturally, I have collected a lot of experience using freelancer services as a client. I soon realized that a similar pattern emerged every time I posted a new project description. A few hours after posting the description, several freelancers applied. The competition was fierce, but within minutes I had subconsciously chosen an inner circle of high potential candidates. In the vast majority of cases, I didn't select a freelancer who could not immediately pass the entry barriers posed by my subconscious mind. Begin author's note, I just cannot resist telling you this. At this point in time, I very seldomly post projects publicly because I already have a circle of trusted freelancers whom I know, and I just contact them and tell them about the gig before even posting the project publicly. So this is where you want to be in the end. This is a perfect position to be in, to be known by a number of clients, to have a good relationship to a number of clients, or even only a single client in the beginning, and just work closely with them, provide a lot of value, and they will just do repeat business again and again and again and again. End of author's note. You want to be in that inner circle of potential freelancers. To get there, you must appeal to the subconscious mind. The following factors will give you a psychological advantage when competing for a freelance job. Use the power of reciprocity. Reciprocity is a social impulse to reply to a positive stimulus with a positive reaction, thereby rewarding other people's positive action. This principle is powerful. It works on me, and it will work on other clients. For example, I published a project to check the Python code of my recent Python programming book. The project description stated that I intended to edit the code to make it more Pythonic. Several freelancers applied immediately for the job. Most of them went into competition mode, bragging about their credentials. They tried to convince me that they are the perfect fit for this project. I selected a few candidates, but was not 100% sure about any of them. Towards the end of the application phase, a new freelancer registered interest with an unusual application. Instead of talking about his credentials, he focused on the project itself. He dived right into the project and submitted annotated and corrected Python code snippets, improving those I provided as sample files. He gave them to me for free. Of course, I knew that he purposely used the reciprocity rule to get the job. Yet I was immediately hooked and felt a strong obligation to reward him for his work, and gave him the job. This is the power of the reciprocity rule. Don't hide your titles and credentials. They still work. When you apply for a job and you have the title Professor, PhD, Bachelor of Science, Master of Science in a relevant area, you will gain immediate credibility. In most cases, it will set you apart from the other freelancers without strong credentials or titles. Note that credentials are not limited to the academic world. You should also highlight your practical achievements, such as your websites, shiny projects, or certificates. Be creative. Invest time in your profile picture. You wouldn't believe the powerful impact of your profile picture on your chances of getting the job. Many coders don't focus too much on appearance. Don't do this. Smile, dress professionally, use a natural image background. Don't compete on price. Forget about it. Competing on price is a race towards zero. You cannot win. There's always a cheaper freelancer, and some of them will apply for the same projects. It's true, some clients look for the cheapest freelancer who barely finishes the task. But most clients will choose high quality and predictability over price. What would you do if you were a business owner who works 60 hours a week to push his website? You love your baby and you don't want a cheap freelancer to mess around with it. A freelancer that offers a service at a very cheap rate is also perceived to produce cheap quality. After all, you wouldn't be cheap if you were good. So what is the value of an hour of your work? Multiply this number with 1.5 for 2 reasons. First, you tend to underestimate your value to the marketplace, and 2, it's a good practice to push yourself towards higher income. That's what you want, isn't it? Now you have your number. Don't work for an hourly rate below that number and keep pushing it. The sky is the limit. Action steps. Collect Python certificates. For example, use our web app Finxter to certify your Python skill level. Take an awesome profile picture. Give something to each potential client. For example, invest some time creating a prototype solution. This will greatly improve your acceptance rate and ultimately save you a lot of time.